Alright, web citizens! Today on Ethnocentric, we're going to be talking about how to draw Mr. Jtrain. Because I did the interview video where I was just showing myself, just kind of demonstrating how I would cartoonify him. But I haven't actually shown you how I did that. I just did it, and then you're like, oh, that is a thing she did, but yeah, I didn't actually walk you through my thought process. So what I'm going to do is actually make a video just documenting what my brain was doing when it came to turning Mr. Jtrain, who by the way is a friend of mine. I'm not a creepy stalker. Shut up, your face is stupid. When it comes to turning Mr. Jtrain into one of my crazy little cartoons. And see, this is the right way to do it. This is how you end up a Love Joolz character the right way. See, if you do this the wrong way, you end up having me draw you, and you'll look like a jackass. So, yeah, stay on my good side. So, anyway, Jtrain is Vietnamese American, so we'll be putting this under the drawing Asian people section. I'm going to come up with a smart name for that, I swear, but right now it's just drawing Asian people. What? It's straightforward. So, I just get rolling with, actually, this face right here. I'm going to give it just some little slight adjusting, just a smidge. Because there's some eye detailing in there that I want to keep an eye on. There's going to be so many eye puns. You really need to be prepared. So whenever I get drawing a character, or any kind of human type being thing, I always just kind of start off with just a quickie little egg. Just to get me roll. Oh, that's where he is. But then when it comes time to start drilling down and turning this into much more of a structure, I will start analyzing first the jawline. Jawline is where I'm like, okay, now we're going to start turning this into something, all right? Make sure we're accounting for the cranium back here, giving us a little I'm just setting up really basic stuff. Just drawing a neck in there. Yeah, these are just really rough lines to just set up the body structure. I personally don't like drawing floating heads. That looks hella weird. Just floating disembodied head. It's hella weird. Now, whenever I'm doing some drawing for some kind of presentation, it's got to be at least some kind of neck components to it. Pretty quickly find the center line of the face. Eyes typically occur at halfway down the head. You don't think so, but you've got a big freaking cranium. Giant noodle there. Okay. I'm just kind of guessing at it. Right? So when it comes to me Joolzifying a character, I take note of eye shape. In this case, there's actually a very upward triangle that is going on with Mr. Jtrain's eyes. And that's why I wanted to do this series in more of a person-to-person, case-by-case study basis, because not every Asian person is going to have the same type of eyes. Not every, black person is going to have the same type of eyes. Definitely Latinos, we can be anything across the board. So that's why I wanted to point out just this one particular instance. We've got a guy with basically this kind of upward triangle shape. So if this is me Joolzing him up, I'm like, okay, it's got like this upward triangle thingy going on. The iris is kind of roughly in about 2/3 of the way across the eye. Okay, that is getting a little hard to read. Sometimes I'll use a really big fluffy brush just to kind of knock back some of these lines so I can see what the hell it is I'm doing. Okay. The next shape to take notice of is nose shape. And in this case, we've actually got this nose that's very bottom heavy. There's a lot of action down here, not too much past basically the first bottom third. All right, so it's just an upward triangle, in other words. but a very, very bottom, like kind of an isosceles triangle almost. Oh yeah! Not every day you get to hear isosceles triangle dropped into conversation, is it? Oh snap! Okay, keeping in mind, I also like to focus on eyebrow shapes, especially when dealing with Asian characters, especially when dealing with dudes. Drawing Asian men, the Asian men definitely have some eyebrow business going on here. That you would definitely see unique to that subset of folks. Eyebrow game. Eyebrow game is real. Okay. Also, bear in mind, wider cheekbones. Any kind of acknowledgement of cheekbones is good. Jawline. Where's your jaw? According to this, his jaw is about almost 1 ear length. Or the corner of the jaw is about like 1 ear length down. But we're making this cartoony style so I can get in and get the hell out. Because otherwise this video is going to take for frickin' ever. So, bottom heavy nose. Now remember, nose stops. Face. 1. There's your eye line. Nose stops 1/3 of the way down. Or you can gauge it by kind of eye lengths. Eye heights, I should say. Eye heights. Make sure you get that crease in there. In his case, he actually has the crease. Oh my god, there wasn't... In this case, he has the... See? All we have to do is draw a bottom-heavy triangle. That's it. The rest sorts itself out. As far as drawing the lips goes, mouth is usually going to be halfway between nose and chin. But on this case, we can afford to get a little gestural. Okay. Because he's a big, strong muscle man, we want to take care to add a bit more muscle definition around kind of the mouth and the jaw area. You'll notice everybody has this set of muscles around their mouths. However, in less muscularly defined, I promise I can speak words. With people with less muscle definition, these lines aren't quite as pronounced. But if you want to pick up the fact that, or really outline the fact that, oh yes, we're drawing big fat muscle guy. Not fat, very trim. Good job, Jtrain. And I'm just making this quick and dirty. And some more hair. There we go. Because we're cartoonifying him, but we still want to make sure that it's roughly in proportion to, that the hairline and everything is roughly in proportion. Proportions are everything. You will live and die by your proportions. Downward facing dog. Alright. Cool. Woo! 8-minute sketch down. That's what I'm talking about. Now we're just going to ink this MFer, and then we will be out of this we'll be out of the story. Alright. When it comes to inks, I tend to keep things very simple. Mainly because I color my own work most of the time, and I know that when I color something, that the lines are actually just supposed to recede, and that the colors are supposed to do most of the heavy lifting. Maybe it'll come out so hard. Yeah, it's a... You'd think that this line right here is going to be one straight line. It's kind of not. Okay, make sure that jaw is coming down far. Or this line for the jaw comes down far. Just a tiny smidge. When you're doing those mouth definition lines, that kind of muzzle definition, you want to be just give it the tiniest little caress. Right? Now, in this case, we don't have a monolid situation, even though he does have some epic eyebrows to work with. Eyebrows! Just blazing through this so fast. Okay. So in this case, we just want to make sure we draw the eyebrow crease still fairly close to the eye. It's not that prominent. They're still pretty close together. Whenever I'm drawing eyes, especially like if it's a Love Joolz comic and I want a character to read as quote-unquote Asian, I bring the light down very, very far. You'll notice in Mr. Jtrain's eyes, not a lot of light reflection going on. Now this kind of quote reads as, oh, hey, this is a person who probably doesn't have very, like, light eyes to work with. Okay. And again, as long as I treat this nose like a real low kind of pressed triangle, I'll be good. Corners of the mouth, I like to just start with a big chunky dot. And then just draw a thinner line connecting the two. Okay, it should be like a line like this. Thick, thin, thick. Something like that. Okay. In order to... Oh, see, I'm screwing up all these proportions. It's okay to question your work partway through. Oh, shit, we're at 11 minutes. I gotta wrap this shit up. Bring that a little northbound, because it's okay to question yourself. I'm just happening to notice that the relationship between the eyes and the nose, they're not that far apart. Black nose. Ha! Perfect. Woo! I swear I'm smart. When it comes to guys, unless I want them to look overtly like kind of, showy or flary or something, I don't feel the need to really get too crazy with lip definition. Typically, just that one line on the top of the lip and the one at the bottom, especially furthest away from the light over here. That's enough to just get me to where I need to be, alright? And as you can see, we're pretty much home. I just need to finish this off. Add a few lines to the eye, because you'll also notice there's a little bit of a crease underneath the eye. That's because that is where your tissue is. That is where your eyeball and your skull meet up. Isn't that fun? Now you know science facts. You can always add something there. You don't have to get too crazy. You can always add a second line there just to emphasize the lower eyelid. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And in this case, I'm just going to add hair in. I am sailing. Sailing! Sometimes to save time, I'll make the hair go around a certain amount. Then I'll break the line. Long, short, short, short. Long, short, short, short. Make sure that cheekbone is nice and wide. Although you have to make sure that those lines are at least connected in here. Because when I fill in for hair... Oh, of course your face is dumb! See, if you fill in for hair and then that happens, that means the lines here aren't completely closed. I hate you, Photoshop. I wouldn't have this problem in Clip Studio Paint, but here we are. It's Photoshop. Photoshop is gonna be a thing. I don't know. I like to make hair. I like to make the hair real solid black and then start taking it away. In this case, seems to be a bit of a highlight here, so done. Effort is stupid. Oops, and I feel like I just need to give the nostrils one more schmooge and yeah, just meh. That's about right. So, boink. I like to check my work by just taking the pencil lines away. Hey, that looks fairly close, right? Yay! We could go ahead and add color if we want to. But otherwise, hey, that looks like a pretty finished sketch. Oh, hey, let me... Blah, blah. There we go. The gentleman! He's not going to go pumping at the gym with that shirt on. Alright, and that about tears it for this drawing of Ethnocentric. Thanks for joining me and Mr. Jtrain. And the loving memory of Jtrain Schnauzer. Oh, I know I'm a jerk to bring that up. Alright, see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you dug this, make sure you subscribe to the channel to get even more Ethnocentric videos.